Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood. And welcome back to Good Morning Driftwood. You got me here, your host Dirk Wiley, along with my lovely colleagues Penelope MacGuffin.
Good morning.
And Bench PerDiem.
Hey,
Well, I got to tell you, fellas, the Driftwood Society of Trouser Boys has announced they're throwing a fundraising gala. That's the Professional Association for Clothing Tailors here, and the name of the organization is just a remnant of the olden days when women weren't allowed to be tailors or deal with clothing, of course. But, of course, no longer the case. Anyway, proceeds from the gala will go to the Driftwood School of Fancy, where the tailors earn their licenses, as well as just to get people excited about clothing and tailoring, about getting things tailored, getting custom pieces made, curtains, and Driftwood's finest tailors will be there showing off their newest garments and finest work. They're telling people to eat beforehand because there will be a dinner, but it'll be purely ceremonial. All of the food will just be made of fabric and linen. Apparently everyone will be seated, and the servers are going to bring out plates and set them in front of people, but on the plates will just be fabric that they've woven and tailored to create just beautiful replicas of food. And so I guess there's a no food or beverage rule in place to protect the clothing. We'll be over at the Museum of Fancy where they're holding the event, and the gala will be called Face Full of Fancy. So go on and get your tickets and come in your finest garments. It should be absolutely spectacular. What do we think of the Face Full of Fancy gala, folks?
well, can I just say it? I think I have a hot take about this. Basically,
Please bring it on.
I really think that the third way fancy movement has gone too far.
Really?
Fabric plates? Are you kidding me? Fabric plates.
I think it's more to just display their skill with crafting small items as well.
It's this modern art thingy.
It's like an Art Nouveau sort of detail-oriented.
Yeah,
Bench
don't
is
like
not
it.
into it. Bench
Don't
is
like
not
it.
a fan.
Not a fan.
So you more just like big drapes and curtains and nice large swaths.
That is what I like, but also, it's the fundamental thing. If I am in a dinner situation, if there's a plate and a server and cutlery, I want to eat something.
So are you going, by the way?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so you're intending to take that fork and knife and dig into that fabric.
Well, if it's in front of me, I don't see why not.
So does that also include, say, you were, I don't know, in the supermarket crockery aisle where there will be shelves of plates and cutlery, and there will be technically servers there who are the shop assistants. You're like, give me some food now. Do you just start tearing into bags of crisps that you also find in the
Is it
supermarket?
like a Pavlovian, you see the cutlery
Yeah.
and the trappings of a meal and you just cannot help yourself? You need to dig it right in?
Yeah, I feel so hungry all of a sudden. I can't control myself, and I just will eat whatever's in front of me. If I see, again, it's a plate with cutlery on the
That
side.
feels like a self-control for you issue, Bench.
Oh, but it's very easy because if I don't want to eat, I just don't set up a plate in front of me, and then I don't get hungry.
Okay, but if there's a plate present, you cannot hold yourself back.
Not really, no.
That feels like a you thing. Feels like a you thing. And I would advise you not to go to this event.
Well, but I'm a big donor.
So they give you a free ticket then, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really backing themselves into a corner. I don't think they know the wrath that they've invited from Bench over here.
No. I have been a couple years in a row. Obviously, once they relaxed the rules to let women in, eventually, 7-8 years ago when they
It
said
was stunningly late.
Yeah.
I said, of course, they've eased off that rule,
Yeah.
but not a long time ago.
legally women wearing trousers up until I'm thinking 7-8 years ago, it was an illegal thing to
A
do.
scandal.
Yeah. I mean, we all did it.
It was one of those
Because-
unspoken sort of like, well, the law's on the books.
Yeah.
Yes.
But sort of you can get around
Arrest us all. Why don't
They
you?
Yeah.
decriminalized it a long time ago, so they weren't prosecuting, but it was still actively illegal.
I don't know.
it. It would raise some eyebrows. When
Yeah,
you
I don't know.
walked out.
Do you not remember the court case? The state
the court
versus
case, yeah.
Jessica Smith.
Yeah.
Oh,
Poor Jessica.
those were
What a hero, though.
Beautiful.
What a hero.
Beautiful, tailored, like, they were like bell bottoms at the bottom and like with a belt and a blouse. It was just like a
She
stunning
looked
outfit.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only crime she was doing that day was looking great.
Looking too damn good.
Yeah.
That wasn't admissible in court as
That's
a defense,
true. They
unfortunately.
tried that, and everyone got real excited about it. But
Yeah.
then the judge was like, "That's not a legal argument in
Yeah.
any way."
That's it. It wasn't. I mean, the law is complicated.
It's
The
maritime law.
is complicated, and it's true. It's entirely based on maritime law.
Yeah.
That's how we started, and so Jessica felt the wrath of that.
Yeah. Now, I will say the fancy boys do know how to throw on a party.
That is true.
To the
That is
surprise of
very
no one, if you
true.
call yourself the Museum of Fancy and you're the Trouser Boys,
Yeah.
they know how to throw a nice event.
Those, they know how to throw a party. Now, admittedly, I was there the year. I think you both might have been there as well. The spillage.
Ooh, who could forget?
Brother.
The year of the spillage.
Yeah.
They whisper about it at the Museum of Fancy.
Ooh, someone smuggled in some red wine. Just happened to spill it.
Not even white wine.
No.
Not even a
wine.
spritzer.
Not
No.
even white wine.
Now, this is it. Was it an accidental spillage or was it a protest?
Was it a targeted attack?
Could have been a targeted attack.
That's
And
a good question.
like no one claimed it at the end, but it was. Oh God! Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, wasn't it like 9 years ago, just before the laws changed to say women
And the
could wear
two
trousers?
pieces that were spilled on were Fringilla Wilson's garments.
Yes.
And she's notoriously scandalous herself, so people do think that she might have been the target of the attack.
But yeah, wow. I mean, it is very annoying that now we're not allowed liquids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, one person does one thing and then suddenly like liquids are banned, which is, I like to be hydrated.
It's risky at an event and it's a long event too. It's 6-7 hours
Yeah.
to allow none of that.
A lot of people
But they really
faint.
react. The year of the spillage, they reacted very strongly to that because it was never
Ooh,
known.
boy.
The shocking thing was no one knew who did it.
Yeah.
So no one knew if it was it. That's why it's just called spillage because they can't say anything intentional or
Yeah.
that it was an attack. So they don't know if it was incidental and someone just smuggled it in and spilled it, or
That's it.
if it was targeted.
There was a lot of talk that it was a bit of a cover up of that.
Really,
I
Bench?
don't know how much we want to get into that.
Donor,
but that
of
was,
course, as a donor yourself, you probably are aware of the high level
Exactly,
inner sort of whisperings of the
I've
Museum
heard the
of Fancy.
whispers. I have heard the whispers. I don't want
Whispers of fancy.
the whispers of that's what we call our email chain and our WhatsApp group. Both are named the same thing, but it was unconfirmed. So I don't want to kind of just speculate. But those were the rumors going around.
What?
Unconfirmed, unverified.
What were the rumers?
That this was a targeted attack.
That it was targeted
Yeah, yeah.
towards Fringilla.
Mhm.
She never recovered. You
No.
can see you look at her eyes and they're just lost these days. The passion seems to have gone.
It was such a shame that it happened to be on the day she was wearing the linen. You know, like it just picks up a stain.
Everything.
Oh, heartbroken.
White,
She-
a nice egg cream colored linen.
And she still, every time she has to go out in public, she will only wear that, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is, in a way, it's quite tragically poetic in a way. It's like she wears her hardest experiences, the thing that hurt her and cut her the deepest. She wears it on her every day.
Don't we all?
Oh,
I mean-
this is why the people tune in. You know, we talk about what we talk about, but we really get to the heart of deep emotional conversations.
We do talk about what we talk about, Dirk.
We talk about what we talk about.
You
think-
always say that.
And is it not true?
It is very true.
Am I lying?
I think that's like the motto
Dirk
of the
don't tell
whole
no
show.
lies, Bench. Dirk don't tell no lies.
Dirk, no tell no lies.
You want to try it on? You want to try it on?
I just don't think I can do it as well.
Dirk don't tell no lies.
Dirk don't tell no
see,
lies.
See how it feels rolling off the tongue.
Dirk, don't tell no lies.
All right. Well, he's saying a little
Yeah.
more confidently.
it's you just have
It sounded
that-
like a question there.
You have that built in, and it feels like it takes a lot for me to like pull that
Bench
out. of-
threw it out like it was nothing. Bench hit me.
Dirk tell no lies.
That wasn't all the words. You missed that. Became one
You
thing.
did sort of stumble your way
That
through it that
actually,
time.
I
Before
did
it was
say it.
rock solid. It was rock solid
I
before.
did say it. It was just so quick. Dirk don't tell no lies. Dirk don't tell no lies.
Okay, we're
I
gonna
kind of
go
liked
through.
it the last time when he sort of ran through it.
We're gonna.
It's one of those things that is like it's almost so built into the lexicon and people know it so well that you can just kind of
Okay,
and
we're
everyone's
going
like,
to
hey, I'm there.
go through the recording there and we're going to pull out whether you used all the syllables.
Fact check this.
We're going to
Please.
fact check this.
But
Listeners,
do we
if-
have the capacity for that, Matthias? He's shaking his head. I don't know if he knows how to.
What does
go back.
Matthias do if not?
He does
allow us to
seem
fact check?
real busy all the time in there.
He seems very
don't
But I
stressed
don't know
out.
with what.
I don't know.
He has so many coffee cups.
He's just pointing at the soundboard right now.
There's so many
As though that
buttons
explains
on
anything.
the soundboard. Like I can't imagine he knows all the buttons.
Do you think?
Yeah, he's holding his hands up to his sides and like shaking his head like yikes. Like so I think you're probably right about that.
He is not wearing headphones, so I don't know if he's actually
Can you
listening.
hear us? Can you hear that?
He's doing the same thing.
He's doing the
He is
same
still
thing.
Just
He's just
waving
holding
his
his arms out to the sides and
Okay.
shaking his head in confusion.
Well,
Well, I think. And Matthias, do we need to go to a break, Matthias? Still just shaking that head. I'm just going to
Go
take
to a
this on
break.
myself. We're going to go to a break, and we will see you in a bit. And welcome on back to Good Morning Driftwood. Bench, what do you have for us this morning?
well, winter has come and it's getting cold out here, so we all know what that means.
What does that mean, Bench?
It's mold season.
Mold season.
So as we know, most pre-mutiny buildings on the Driftwood Isles are all made of wood from old ships, which get incredibly moldy.
It's a damp, soft wood.
It's a damn soft wood. So at this time of year, it is tradition around here to do what we call a Theseus's ship and replace all the wood planks in your home. This is, of course, in reference to the old pirate captain Jedediah Theseus, who died of mold poisoning in the winter of 1732. So just a little reminder to our listenings, replace your planks.
That's why people often have sort of effigies of Theseus in their homes to remind themselves and to honor
Yes,
those that have fallen to the black mold.
of course.
I don't want to toot my own horn here, but
Toot it. Toot it away.
Toot it.
Penelope, number one tutor.
okay, and not in my current home. I was going to say domicile, not in my current home.
It's
But
very formal.
thank you. I can be fancy. In a
Fancy Penny.
previous one, okay, I I got into the newspaper. I don't know if you remember, because I had a bit of mold that I swear you looked at it and it was Theseus's face.
Ooh.
Oh, that was
See,
you?
That's
That
a
was
real
me.
devil's bargain right there. Because do you remove it?
Exactly. You can't.
Is it
You
more
can't.
honoring of Theseus to leave it or to remove it?
Well, I did have a really bad cough at that that point in my life, and some real sinus issues. So medically, removing it quickly
Yeah.
was the right thing to
The
do.
teachings of Theseus would tell you to remove it, but the love of Theseus
Yeah.
would
Exactly.
make
I
you
was-
want to keep it.
I was so torn by it, and every night I would just sit and look at it, and the little spores coming off of it, and the
You
light
could
was
see the
You could
spores.
see the
gorgeous.
It was visibly shedding
it was really,
poison. That's
really
all it is.
beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. And eventually, myself and my flatmates, we just had to remove it. We had to,
Thank
because
goodness.
Yeah, good.
obviously Jenna had been hospitalized by this point for 7 days and
Oh,
was
God.
not allowed to return until we dealt with it. So, we like Jenna. We were like, let's get the...
That was you're like
That
we
was the
like
thing.
Janet. That was the
We
sort
like
of design.
Jenna.
If it had been a lesser loved roommate, you don't know
I
that
don't
you
wanna-
might have taken.
What
the
if it was?
same-
What if it were Edith?
I'd still have Theseus in the...
Oh,
boy.
Edith catching strays.
Edith on blast.
So we did cut it out and we did give it to the museum.
They can preserve it and presumably put it behind
They
glass.
do. They have a process.
I think
A
after...
process.
A process.
Obviously, this was
Science,
like
some
15
related.
years ago, so now it doesn't look so much like Theseus anymore because the mold has had 15
They didn't like
years
preserve it. They didn't somehow put it
Hey.
into
We thought
some type of stasis to just freeze it in place.
the
Again, I
Museum of
don't know what
Mold-
their process is.
No one does.
No, but
we shouldn't have to. We're radio
Presumably they
hosts. We're not
should've.
scientists.
We're not science. And
we're
this
not.
is
And we
very.
remind the audience of
Exactly,
that
yeah,
very
please.
often.
We're not scientists.
We are not scientists.
We are not scientists.
We are barely journalists.
I consider myself a journalist, Bench.
Yeah, I didn't say we're not. I said we're
Journalism.
barely.
Journalist is just like a state of the heart.
That's
It's
what
more
you
of a
always
mentality. It's
say.
a mindset.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's an attitude. It's the way you move through the world.
Yeah.
Are you inquisitive? Are you curious? Do you question people?
Yes.
Then you're a journalist.
Welcome
Bench.
to journalism.
Okay,
Welcome.
I'll take it.
Embrace it.
I don't know that I
you don't have to
really-
downplay it. Say barely.
I think I didn't really
can
consider
say it.
myself as that before, and now I'm like, I am a journalist. You know
Say it
what?
again. Say it again.
I am a journalist.
There you go.
This
Dirk,
feels
don't
good.
tell no lies. Bench.
Dirk,
is a
don't tell no
journalist.
lies. Thank you, guys. That was nice.
Yeah.
So replace your planks.
I'm just also. I have to double back to. You said you would sit around the mold and
Mm-hmm.
watch the beautiful spores fall off of it.
Yeah, when the
In what way was
light
it
is coming
beautiful? Because
through.
that would be horrifying to me. Had the spores like worked their way into your brain to make you think that the mold was like good?
Oh, no,
was
like-
like a god-like figure.
Oh, medically, they said that like after they worked out that my blood type had changed, like they said
Your
medically I
blood-
was
it
fine after
literally
that.
changed your blood.
That shouldn't happen.
Oh, like I'm sure it
Did it
shouldn't
change
happen.
back, or are you just like different now?
Oh, no,
are you
I-
a different species? Are you still a human, or is there now like sort of like a fungal type? Like, do you have fungus blood? Do you have like mushroom blood?
Do you have
What's
fungus
going
blood?
on in there? What
Okay.
color?
You
is
have
it?
to
So-
tell us if you
I
have
have
fungus
so
blood.
many questions.
Okay, so you know
Yeah,
how
this is a
the
safety thing. When you exhale, are you exhaling spores to us?
No, I have a nose spray. Okay, so you know how there are 4
The
blood
fact
types.
that you need to use a nose spray is kind of
Oh, you-
reflective that there are still
Oh,
impacts
come on, you don't
being
have
felt
allergies?
to this day.
I do
No
have
one has
allergies.
I do have
Allergies?
allergies, but not to keep things in.
Okay, so there are
Do you know
4
what I
blood
mean? Like,
types.
if
No.
you're doing this, well, you said you do a spray, so presumably you're doing the spray to negate the negative effects of whatever you're exhaling,
Uh-huh.
right? Is that, am I interpreting that
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when you're doing allergies, you're doing a spray to block the allergens that
Yeah,
are
you're
coming
just
in.
building a wall.
Again, I'm not a scientist, but I think I articulated that really well.
I think you did. I'm not 100% sure that's how sprays work, but I'm going to go with it.
I'm pretty sure that's how sprays work. You take a allergen spray and it steals your sinuses against the attacks of the natural world.
Yeah, it builds a little wall, and my
There you
wall
go. Your
keeps
wall
things
keeps
in,
things in.
and your wall keeps things out. But
Exactly.
technically,
Your-
also
But the
keeps things
implication,
in.
but the implication there is that what's inside of you can't get out.
Okay, so
for
you
the
know how-
safety and health of everyone around you.
You're not
which
keeping it in,
is
it's more about you-
us. We're in an enclosed box with you for hours and hours every single day,
So-
Penelope.
Right. You know how, and don't feel, if you feel uncomfortable and don't want to say your blood
I
type on
already
air,
feel uncomfortable.
it's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know how there are the blood types? You've
Yeah.
got A, you've got B.
Sure.
You've got AB,
Okay.
which is a little mix up of the two, a little cocktail of blood,
It's
shall
both.
we? And then you've got O.
Yes.
Okay.
That seems like a hugely out of left field. Why are we going right to O?
Always a lack of certain antigens, I believe. So it's just
Okay,
you don't have as
science.
less.
So there's less
Again,
blood.
I'm not a scientist.
So A is one type of blood, B is another type.
Yeah.
AB is just you have both of those types, and O is you have
The
none
lack
of
of the
them.
AB.
You have like a neutral.
You have no blood.
It's like you have a neutral
No,
blood.
you have blood.
You have blood. You
Because O
definitely
is
have
like a
blood.
0 though. So
Oh,
then
it's
it's
not.
like you
Oh
have
my
you
God,
don't
where'd
have
the blood go? It's not that.
It's like you don't have a you have an unspecified. It's kind of can be whatever.
So they just don't know what's going on in there.
No, they know. They know
Just
it's all.
nothing going on.
There's nothing. So there's no blood.
No, there's just blood, but it's
So
not.
then what's going on with the A and B blood?
They have more going on than there should.
Dirk, the vein on your forehead is back.
I'm just really concerned.
Just breathe.
about what is inside of me keeping me alive now, and if there's anything.
Dirk,
Are you an O?
I don't know. I've never gotten a cut or an injury that would cause
You've
blood to
n-
leave my
you can
body.
just donate blood and they'll tell you what you
No,
are.
well then I would be punctured. I've never been. My skin has never been punctured,
See, I
and
want.
if it has, I don't remember.
This checks out because he does not have any piercings.
I did want to say that
Checks
I don't
out.
know how that would work at this point in your life, but then again, Dirk, don't tell no lies.
Dirt on no lies.
This is okay. I was going to talk about my blood, but this is genuinely concerning.
Why?
They-
That I've
Let's-
remained
let's
to
go
keep.
back,
That I've been able to
but-
keep myself safe.
Say your blood
unless,
thing.
again, I may have just forgotten, but I don't think that's the case.
I think it might be. Penny, what were you going to say about blood?
Yeah, please go on, Penny.
I can't get over the idea that you've never had blood
Let's
taken
try.
for like any reason, or never had a drip
Why
of
would
any
I-
description, or
Why would I invite that upon myself? Keep it in.
okay. So
It's keeping me alive.
you're right. It is so. Those were the 4 blood
If-
types.
Assuming it's there, assuming I'm not type O and don't have any blood.
Okay, so there are four blood types. Technically, more if we start including the positives and the negative
Yes.
side of each one.
Well, there's really 2 blood types. There's AB, and then AB is just both of them. That's
Yeah.
not really a different type. That's just a combination of the two.
It is a combination. It counts as its own thing.
Well,
Dirk, please do not write a complaint letter to the Driftwood Blood
I will
again.
be writing some letters. I wouldn't classify them as complaints, though. More just inquisitive. and
Concerned.
Sort of like a we need to get to the bottom of this.
That makes sense.
I don't want to
More of a
derail
call
us.
to action.
I don't want to derail us again on another tangent, but I do have to ask, Dirk. You're so concerned about blood types, meaning lack of blood, and you say you've never been punctured. Aren't you concerned that you might not have blood if you don't know
That's
that for
why
a fact?
I'm so concerned. Is that not clear?
Is it a Schrodinger's
that's
blood
the
thing you
case-
don't want to find out?
If that's the case, then what is keeping me alive? And if that's the case, maybe I just don't need blood, and am I a god?
Okay.
If I don't have blood and I'm alive, then maybe I'm just like a timeless entity.
So
I
Penny,
wouldn't know, would I? I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. That's right. You wouldn't know.
It would just be like 100 years from now, and my friends Penelope and Bench are dead, and I'm still recording this show.
Well, I don't know about me because obviously now with my new blood type,
So what is the new one?
What's
what did
the
it
new
used
one?
to be?
it's F,
Meaning,
fungi.
so you do have mushroom blood. You've got fungus blood.
There's bits like if you were to
There's
if you were to look
Oh, I'm so worried for you and now us.
if you were to
If
look
I'm a pure, timeless entity that could live forever, and you poison me and take me down with you, I am gonna haunt
Hey,
the
I'm
hell
sorry.
out of you.
Do you know-
Penelope, you cannot describe your blood as you do like a risotto, like bits of fungi. You need to give us more details.
okay, I will. So like if you were to get your telescope microscope.
Okay.
If you were to get your telescope because you want it to be really far away, okay? So you'd stand me over that side of the road, and then you would get your telescope. And if I did, you know those little pinprick things that
Yeah.
they do if you were like donating blood? Don't know why I looked at Dirk. He doesn't know what this is.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Glassy-eyed look
Yeah.
on my face right now.
And if I was to hold my finger up and you were to look through a telescope at the blood
Across the
on my
street.
finger,
Is it a little porcini?
it's a tiny, tiny porcini.
It starts growing out of your finger.
No, that would be insane. That
would be insane.
That would be
But
crazy.
you can see the little outline
Bits
of
of
like
mushroom.
the one that they showed me was fascinating. It looked exactly like the red mushroom from Mario. You know, if you were to like eat it and be
Is
bigger.
it all that kind, or is it like a blend? Is it like different?
I do believe in real life those are incredibly poisonous.
Yeah, I don't think they're poisonous to me anymore.
Well, if she's one of them, if she has like become a fungus
Yeah.
herself, then I guess she's immune.
The doctor
That's
actually
that's like her family at that point.
the doctor said something really funny. It was really cute. He went, I guess you're kind of a fun guy.
I think we need to go to a break.
He's a fun guy because like fun.
Do we need to go to a break?
I would prefer to hammer down on this a little more just for the sake of our own safety.
Do you want to look? I will answer all of your questions off air. Like if
Have you aged in a similar way? Is your skin the same?
yeah, absolutely.
Or is it like more leathery and like mushroomy? And do you have the like gills type of thing
Oh,
that
why
are
would I
like
have
under?
gills?
Dirk, now
I
it
don't
sounds-
know.
It sounds like you're interested in this
I'm
more than
fascinated by this.
Don't get what she has. That's not going to be good for you.
Fungus and mushrooms can sometimes live a very long time. If I combine my no blood with the longevity and adaptability of Penny's fungus blood, this could have a compounding effect to make me even a greater god than I have accepted that I already am.
I think we should go to a break. I'm going to bring
Do
in
you think
some
so?
textbooks.
All right.
And between.
I might be getting carried away with this, but we should talk to this scientist and doctor
Yeah.
later to see what we can do to our own bodies to potentially live forever. And we will see you after the break. Welcome back. Very excited for that science talk later, Penelope. And what do you have us for this morning?
What do
you
I have us for
What do you
this
what do you
morning?
have us for?
this morning?
What do
I'm
I-
just really excited about my impending immortality, and
Well-
I'm having trouble moving on from that. But take us away.
It's funny you should mix up all the words in the sentence because what I've got is very language based. Okay.
Oh boy.
So
Exciting.
saw a little press release come through. Makers of the language app Duolingo are once again appealing to any citizens of the island who still speak the old Driftwood language, Driftic, to come forward and be part of the team adding the language to the app. Now, here's the thing. We all know it. Derek's city councillors have reminded the makers of the app that there is only one man who speaks Driftic, and he lives in a houseboat on the Flanders Canal just north of New Derrick. But historians are once again skeptical as to whether he is accurately speaking the language or is just a chancer taking advantage of the lack of other Driftic speakers to get himself a well-paying job at the university. Okay, now I can confirm I know no Driftic. None. That is a dead language.
Yeah. Bench, you do know some of the old language of Driftwood.
I remember
but that's
some
different
terms.
than Driftic.
Yeah,
right?
my great grandfather spoke Driftic, and I will say I don't know much of it, but he did say that old man Jonathan was I don't want to say nutcase, but wacko.
I believe he does have tenure now at the university, so they cannot do anything about it. But I have heard reports from people that have taken his class that it is just watching old episodes of Seinfeld.
I mean, if people are taking the class, he's the only person, you said he's the only person that speaks Driftic?
He says he's the only person that speaks it.
Okay, but if he's then teaching a course and teaching people how to speak it, but after taking the course that they can't speak it and he's still the only person, then it can't really be like a solid language with rules and grammar and stuff, right?
There is no consistency to what he's teaching anyone. So he will, in order to remain top dog of this language, 1 year just watched old episodes of Seinfeld. The other year only got told the sentence, "I would like a reservation for 2, please, for dinner."
You know,
He taught people that?
He taught people that,
does
allegedly.
Explain,
Which isn't helpful because presumably the person you're making the reservation with isn't going to speak the language. So what's even the point of it?
Exactly. And what if there's more than 2 of you going for dinner or it's lunch?
That's true. If there's 3 of you, you're done.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this does make a lot of sense for in the last meeting of the Driftwood Historical Society last month. There were a lot of people who were just, I didn't know if this was like an inside joke situation. I'm now understanding maybe they were trying to communicate an old Driftic, but it just came off as like really bad Seinfeld impressions.
Yeah.
Was that part
What's
of
the
it?
deal with pirate ships?
I once saw everyone just dance.
That was incredible, Bench. Sorry, you once saw everyone just dance?
They were just dancing and like a real, like all of them, just like an excited dance.
Was it a good dance?
It was.
And that was part of the language?
Apparently, allegedly.
It was a very physical language. We do know that.
Like a lot of gesticulation, like Italian people, they sort of use their hands a lot. And now this Driftic is that
It's like
times
real intense
and even
knees.
more so, like the
Yeah.
whole body.
Real intense knees, yeah.
Knees.
Yeah,
They gesticulate with their knees.
I say dance. Maybe it was more of like an excited, like ooh, but
like the haka.
Like a Kramer.
From New
oh
Zealand.
no, nothing is formal or as planned as that. Just
A Kramer?
just 4 people just excitedly reacting to something. I'd
Were
say
they slapping their knees?
No.
Like the haka from New Zealand?
not even slapping. I think I cannot stress enough how far away from the haka is.
Okay.
Dirk,
Was that?
do you just want to talk about your recent trip to New Zealand again? It's fine if you do.
It's a lovely country. I enjoyed it. I was fascinated by the haka. I do gotta say though, you always see sporting events where the team from New Zealand does the haka, and the other team just like takes it.
Stands there.
They just stand there like a bunch of idiots, like a bunch of jerks, and just take it. And essentially, the haka is like a way of being like, it's like a war dance. It's like, we're gonna beat you down. We're gonna beat you. We're gonna win. If someone was doing that, was just like talking smack, you'd say something back, except everyone just stands there with their mouth agape looking like a bunch of jerks. If they were doing the haka to me, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. I'd be coming back at them the entire time.
Can I say something?
You're a radio host.
There's a tiny little spider. I don't know if you guys can see it.
I see the tiny spider.
I just get so distracted by a teeny tiny little spider. It is very cute.
Pretty adorable over there, actually.
Just on
Just
this
let it
little
go.
web.
Yeah,
It's actually really relaxing to watch.
it is.
You weren't relaxed by my
I was getting
Aggressive shouting
rant
and pointing.
about the haka.
I was getting a little tense, I will say.
Would you not say something back? You just stand there. It's beautiful. I enjoy it very much. It's fantastic. But
gonna be honest.
It's smack talk. It's historical smack talk.
Will-
It's coming back up.
Will it be? Would the reply to the haka be seen as just one man ranting? You know, like, is that going to be a cool response, or is it just going to be
there's
like,
no way
he's
it's going to
lost
look
it?
as cool as the
No.
haka.
I'm going to be honest.
But it's just for the sake of sticking up for yourself.
Yeah, that
I
makes
have
sense.
Have some
never seen a
dignity.
haka. I don't quite know what it is.
They get in a formation. There's like a physical element to it. It's really quite breathtaking.
It's really stunning
fantastic.
to watch,
I enjoy
yeah.
it very much. But it's only when I then look at the other side and
They got
they're
nothing.
just standing there like
Yeah.
a bunch of fools. It's like,
It
come on,
kinda-
guys! Like, just gonna take that.
It kind of reminds me, you're watching someone like sincerely doing really like a piece of art at you. And it sometimes reminds me of when you'll be at a party and someone will just get an acoustic guitar out, and I just don't know how to respond in that moment to someone sincerely and earnestly just trying their best at a little acoustic song. You know? It's the same.
That's a power move in a way.
Because I would like to respect and show that I'm listening and I'm taking it in. But I just never know what is expected of me. But then it's fine because I never encounter this because I don't play professional rugby at high level.
I'd watch a million hakas before I was held hostage by I would definitely start talking smack if some guy with a guitar tried to
Watching,
serenade me. Then I'd much prefer taking the haka to that.
I don't even see it as like two competing things. Watching the All Blacks perform high level rugby, beautiful and joyous.
And they've won. Honestly, after the haka, they've won. They've won the mental game already. They've beaten their opponent in that. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's vicious.
Stunning.
It's everything.
But
the
watching your friend
the haka
Steve
from New Zealand is everything. Dirk, don't tell no lies.
Dirk, don't tell
Go
no
on,
lies.
Dirk, don't tell no
Watching your
lies.
friend Steve just earnestly pick up a guitar and start playing
I'm so sorry for that.
a version of Hallelujah that night at your flat was one of the worst things I have ever experienced in my life.
Yeah,
He was
I knew
doing
that.
the jazzy thing where like the chords didn't even sound
It didn't
anything
make
like
sense.
When I got back from the restroom and saw what was happening, I mean, you saw me throw him out. And have you seen Steve since?
Never.
No.
it. Wait, what did you do?
You won't have to worry about Steve's guitar playing anymore.
I'm going to leave it at that. That's okay.
And you should
He's-
because
I'm fine with that.
I don't know what happened to him, but if that
He's at
performance, he
sea.
deserves it.
He's at sea. Let's just say that.
Hey, we all know what that means. When you say someone is at sea, there's no follow-up questions to that.
Because they're on the water.
We don't say
That's what
that,
it means. It means they're on the water bench.
but we don't say that part out loud. That's an understanding. Guys, come
Yeah,
on,
'cause
you
they're
know
on the
better.
water.
They're on the water,
I know they're,
the ocean.
but you're not supposed to say it. We all
The
get
wave.
it.
Why is it okay? The waves. They're in
you'll
they're in
get
the
it.
waves.
Because you don't say that part because that part's incriminating. And we don't want
Why
to
is
say
that
They're on-
incriminating?
They're on the water that's controlled by the moon.
Yeah, the moon has them,
the moon
But
has
which
them.
on
is
the
which is
water.
very romantic.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's a nice place to be.
The moon,
Yeah,
Yeah.
The moon, the water.
When
all
it
of
hits your eye,
like a big pizza pie.
I was going to
That's the
say like
moon.
waves.
Oh,
Because sometimes a wave will hit you in the eye and you're like, oh, salt water.
sorry. I'm just still thinking about needing to go to that gala later and not being able to eat dinner, and I'm getting pissed.
I'm gonna go this year, and I'm gonna we should sit next to each other, and I'll help you through it to not
I'll
tear into
appreciate
that.
that.
Because if you're a donor, I don't want them to revoke your membership or anything like that.
I don't
And
think they can.
I feel like if you tear the art apart with a knife, that's not gonna go well for you, Bench.
Oh, don't worry about it. All the knives are made of fabric.
Oh my god,
They think of everything.
You're going to really struggle if they...
I'm gonna need you there, Dirk. I'm really gonna need you there.
One
This
year
could
it
be
was-
hard for me.
One year it was delightful little tool, like a little but not like a tool, like the fabric tool, you know.
No,
so it was
I-
very
What? I have
netting,
no idea what you're
Like
talking
What are you
about.
netting.
saying?
like netting.
What was netting?
The knife,
The knife was knitting.
netting.
yeah, yeah,
Knitting or
Netting.
netting?
netting. Sorry, this is my northern accent.
Yeah,
It was netting.
netting.
It was
Like
No,
a,
no,
like
no.
a
It
fishing
wasn't
net.
like net. It wasn't like they netted it with needles. It was like netting,
Like a net, like a fishing net?
Fish net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fishnet knife.
Yes.
There
But,
are
like-
so many layers to the poetry of that. Like you're eating a fish with
They think of everything.
that which
you're not.
was
The
used
Trouser
to
Boys.
catch the fish.
But you're not eating the fish. They don't actually put a
But
fish
the
in front of you.
performative element, okay, well, when you watch a play and someone eats a meal in a scene, they're not actually really eating the meal.
If it's a play and
Oftentimes.
there's food, they are.
Not
If it's a
always.
movie, they're not.
Not all. Okay, well then, if you watch a movie,
You don't
my
get a
point is
spit
that
bucket
it's
on
a,
stage
it's a
often.
performance. It's a ceremony. It's the artistry of it. It's not the literal interpretation of what's actually happening.
Matthias
And I'm
looks
here for it.
flustered.
That's true. I think he's choking on something.
Oh, where did a spider go? I'm not seeing it anymore.
Oh.
Is it?
Oh God.
Oh, no.
He's pointing at his neck. He's pointing at his neck, and I see a bite.
I think he might
I
have
see
swallowed
a
that
bite.
spider.
Yeah.
We should kick it to break now. Good Morning Driftwood is brought to you by Yurts. Want to go camping, but a tent isn't luxurious enough? Get a yurt. Want to go camping, but still hang out inside? Get a yurt. Want to go camping, but like freaky camping? You can't be getting freaky in a tent. There's no room for the sexual positions you actually want to do. Don't let the inherent nonstop erotic inspiration of hiking, the great outdoors, be foiled by subpar tent accommodations. Get a yurt and unlock all the crazy feats of sexual athleticism that your body and mind are capable of. Yurts for freaky camping in any climate. Yurts, we thank you for your sponsorship. For Good Morning Driftwood, we'll see you soon. Good Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.